course of 10 years while I was working at Mattel, and best known for the Matty collector lines, Masters of the Universe Classics, DC Universe Classics, that kind of stuff. Modifighters, don't forget Modifighters. Anyway, I would often be accused of essentially, well, making things up and totally lying to the fan base. And the thing is, time and time again, every time this would happen, I would be proven to be telling the truth. As an example, I talked about finding a as yet unpublished story Bible for Hero, Son of He-Man. And everyone said I was making this up until I showed up at San Diego Comic-Con at the He-Man Power Party with the Bible in hand and presented it to members of the He-Man.org, community. And you can see that in this video here. I summarized it. So again, people saying that I was totally making this up. Another example is the Wonder Bread He-Man. I noted when I started this channel that I discovered some paperwork that was finally going to solve the mystery of whether or not he came with Wonder Bread or not. And immediately, fans online again started saying that I'm a total liar and a charlatan and I'm making this up and misleading everyone. And once again, I brought forth the evidence and put it online and said, nope, I actually do have the letter. Here it is. I'm going to read it. So I kind of have a history of being accused of making stuff up, and I always wondered, what in the world do I have to gain by misleading the fan base? Nothing. I mean, I'm just trying to be a member of the community, and because I'm fortunate enough to have worked in the toy industry, well, I like to share information that I have that can clarify things. And another one of these that has come up is when I've mentioned about how Universal Pictures is going to be owning Masters of the Universe in 2023. Now, there has been a whole carousel of companies that have basically owned the rights since they were sold off, and eventually they wound up with DreamWorks, which was then acquired by Universal, and that is how the rights wound up with Universal. You can see the video I did that goes into depth about the sale and all the different companies that have either been acquired or purchased over the years, and how the rights have kind of made it over to Universal. And kind of like the Hero, Son of He-Man Bible and the letter talking about the origins of Wondar, I continually see online people accusing me of making this stuff up and saying, how do I know? Well, the reason I know is because every single Masters of the Universe Classics figure we did, that we sold, all of them paid a royalty. At the time, the owner was Classic Media, which was then acquired by DreamWorks, which was then acquired by Universal. It was kind of in the middle there between Hallmark and Universal. Like I said, it was a lot of companies with the rights passing between them. But the point is, we paid a royalty, and I'm not going to talk about the amount of the royalty, but that's information that is proprietary. But we did pay a royalty, and why in the world would Mattel pay a royalty for a brand they wouldn't have to? And the reason is because another company owns the rights to He-Man. And in 2023, those rights will revert completely to Universal, and it'll be like First Contact. You have to start all over again, and companies essentially will have to pitch to make Masters of the Universe toys in a variety of form factors. So I wanted to clarify exactly what could happen in 2023 because there are a few different outcomes. So right now in 2021, we see a ton of Masters of the Universe product at retail, more than we've ever seen in the history of the brand. Everything from Uno cards to Mega Bloks. And this is because Mattel has first rights at the moment. So if they pass on a form factor, like the Mondo toys, as an example, the 12-inch, highly detailed, highly expensive figures, if Mattel does not choose to make a certain form factor or a certain price point, then Universal can go to another company and say, would you, other company, like to make these toys? But the way the contract works currently, and has for the last 15 plus years, maybe 20 years, is that Mattel has the first right. Those rights revert to Universal in 2023, which means Mattel or any company would have to pitch in order to do Masters of the Universe toys. Right now, Mattel just has first rights, and that's why they're putting out so much, because anything they pass on is going to be made by another company. Now, the live-action rights are still with Sony. That's outside of animation and toy rights. It's kind of like the whole Spider-Man thing, how Spider-Man's with Sony, but it's also with Marvel, and it's confusing. I know, it gives me headaches too. But just know that live action rights are with Sony as long as they continue to develop them, which is why every couple of years you hear about a He-Man movie, and then it kind of fades away again. But because Sony's continually developing it, they maintain the rights. Universal gets everything else in 2023, except for the live action rights. So what are they going to do in 2023? Well, they can really do whatever they want to. They could highly license the brand out to every possible company out there. They could sit on it. They could keep it with Mattel and make no changes whatsoever and just business as usual. And it could continue as a Mattel licensed brand like WWE. So they could also open it up to pitches and everyone could come in for a pitch meeting, which, yes, I know all pitches are tight. And that would mean toy companies of all shapes, size, and nationality would come in and say, this is what we'd like to do with the brand. And it could wind up at any company. And honestly, yes, Universal could do whatever they want. They could keep it at Mattel. They could open it up to pitches. They could open up certain form factors to pitches and keep other form factors at Mattel. There's no way to definitively know what they're going to do. But I can tell you factually, unless things have changed, which I highly doubt, because I know Universal does not sell IP. And that means that because we were paying royalty rights, the royalties are now with Universal. And, the clock is ticking, and that's why we're seeing, all this new content and new shows, because before the rights run out, I think that Mattel, the bottom line is they want to maximize it while they still have a guaranteed say in the brand. So obviously things change. Who knows what will happen between now and then? But for all the fans, online, yelling that I'm constantly making this stuff up, I promise I'm not. I have nothing to gain by making this up. Just the same with Wondar and the same with the Hero Son of He-Man Bibles. So I'm anxious too to see what will happen. I mean, the future is whatever we make of it, and it's whatever Universal makes of it. Nothing may happen. It may just stay with Mattel. It may change everything about the brand. Maybe He-Man will, become a talking wooden puppet, and maybe it'll just be business as usual. It could really go in any direction. But it's exciting that so many companies are paying attention to the brand and we're getting so much product. And that's what you should be excited about, is all the product and all the content that we're getting. And if, any time to be a He-Man fan, now it is. And I honestly promise I am not manipulating or lying to the fan base. I can only earn your trust by my words and actions, and I hope so far they have shown that I definitely do not deliberately mislead anyone. I hope this video helped clarify what might happen with the brand in 2023. Leave your comments below. Let me know what you think. And topics are always welcome. Thanks for sharing this video, and I'll see you in the next one.